Today we're going to talk about ways to describe some more statistics. We're going to learn about quartiles and box and whiskers. I hope you have at least seen or heard of a box and whiskers plot. Well, you're going to have to make one today. But we have some words to learn. So range, I hope we already know this word because we talked about it with statistics before. It's the difference between the highest and the lowest number in your list. And the median we talked about yesterday, and you should already know this middle number. And sometimes in this, when we're going to talk about it as Q2, so that's quartile 2. The lower quartile, usually referred to as quartile 1, is the median, so the middle of the lower half of the data. So you first divide the data in half, and then you find the middle of that. And then the upper quartile, also referred to as Q3, is the median of the upper half of the data. The interquartile range is the difference between the upper and lower, so you just take these two and subtract them. So lots of words, and you're going to have to define these. So very important that you understand these words and what to do with them. So let's see what we can do here. So we want to find all these things: range, median, lower quartile, upper quartile, interquartile range. So the first thing you do need to do is make sure your numbers in order, and I did put them in order for you. So if we want to find the range, we're going to take the highest number. So this is for the range. We're going to take, well, let's just write our answers over here to the side. Range equals. So we'll take 59 minus 2. Hopefully we don't even need to write this out, but we get 57. So the range is 57. So that was a pretty easy one. So when we want to do the median, we need to count how many numbers are in our list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are 13 numbers, so that's going to be easy. There will be one number in the middle. So half of 13 is 6. So I'm going to count over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we see that the median is 12. And it's important to draw these lines because this really divides our data into two sets of numbers then. So, and pay attention because quartile 1 then is down here, the smaller numbers. Okay, so even though your list over here on the left is first, we want to look at these numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 numbers and we want to find the middle here. So we count over 3, over 3. So it's going to be the median of 9 and 6. So 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 divided by 2 would be 7.5. So 7.5 is my quartile 1. Quartile 3 then would be the middle here. So I count over 3 and over 3, and I get 54 and 46. I'm going to go add those together, and I get 100, and then half of 100 would be 50. And the last thing then is the interquartile range, which in this case would be 50 minus 7.5. Well, remember how to borrow here. You're going to have to borrow. I'll make this 49. Think of this as 2 over 2. So you get 1/2, 8. Whoops, that's a 7. Thought it was a 1. 2, 4. So 42.5 would be our interquartile range. So lots of things you got to do. Not super hard math, but you got to know the definitions and apply those definitions to the numbers we have. Now another way to look at statistics is if they're in a stem and leaf plot. Well, you don't really have to write the whole thing out. You can kind of use it in this. If you want, you can write it all out. But remember, like what does this 7 represent? Well, it's really the number 17, so 17. And here 46. We're finding the same thing. So the range of this would be the high number, which would be 46 minus 12. 46 minus 12 would be 34. So 34 is going to be my range. I need to count how many numbers I have here. I'm going to get rid of some of these things here so they don't interfere with what we're doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I got 20 numbers. So I want to count 10 from each way. So starting from this way, 1, 2, 3 in the first row, and I'm starting at the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So after that 6 would be 10. Now when I want to count from the other direction, I'm going to count from this side, and I get from the 6, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, that would be there with the 6. So remember the number that you're doing, it's really not 6, it's really 26. So 26 and 26 divided by 2 would be 26. So my median is 26. And that's your Q2. Q1 is going to be the smaller set of data, the 227, 333, and so on. and there will be 10 of those, so I need to count over 5. So 2, 2, 7 is 3, 4, 5. So after that, oops, not there. Oops, sorry, did I get rid of something? No. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right in, I don't have my writing tool. Right in there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be that same line again, basically. So 23 plus 23 divided by 2 is 23. Q3, I'm going to go from the other way, so starting at the 6, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, sorry, 5 would be right there. And then starting from this 6 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's really 30 and 31. So what's halfway between 30 and 31? 30.5 or 30 and a half. And then my interquartile range, I'm going to take 30, might be easier for you to do 0.5, minus 23. So 0.5, I have to borrow from your 3, 10 minus that, so it would be 7.5 would be my interquartile range. Now when we make a box and whiskers plot here in a minute, we're going to need these things. So that's why it's important to be able to calculate all these statistics. So now let's use this and make a box and whiskers plot. So it divides a set of data into 4 parts. Quartile is kind of your hint, quartile meaning the prefix 4, using the median and the quartiles we just talked about. A box is drawn around the quartiles, and then whiskers extend from each quartile to what are called the extremes. So here's a couple of new words. The extremes are the lowest and highest numbers. So you have the low extreme and the highest extreme. And there are such things as outliers, but we're not really going to deal with those now, so you don't have to worry a whole lot about those. But those are really statistics that are way out there, and there's a way to calculate how far out they have to be, but we're not going to worry about that now. So we're going to make a box and whiskers plot. So we're going to have to find all that data, and then we're going to put it on there, and it kind of divides our data, remember, into 4 parts, so you can kind of see how everything is related and where most of the things are. They in this part and that part? Are they equally spread out? So you will have to make a very long number line when you do this, and we got to go through and do all these certain things that we did. So let's go through and calculate what we just talked about. So we actually don't need the range, okay, but we do need the median, Q1 and Q3. Alright, so let's find the median. Count your numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 numbers. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the median, I'm just going to write it under here, is 22. So we're good on that one. Okay, so now that divides it. So let's look at our lower quartile. I have these 5 numbers. So 1, 2, over, 1, 2, over. So 17 would be my Q1. So Q1 is 17. And then 1, 2 over, 1, 2 over. 24 would be my Q3. So we got all that. So we need to make a big number line now. Don't just stop, I mean, it needs to be pretty big. I don't really care a whole lot, but you at least need to have all the numbers on here. And sometimes you can go by 2s, but I like it if you make it, depending upon how, but use a lot of paper. Don't just kind of cram it in where we can't really read our statistics. And it is a line, remember, so it's going to go on forever. So really we need to go from, let's say, 14 to 31, because I need to go, so I think I can get all those on here. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Good. And maybe you don't need to write every number. Maybe you'll write every other number when you're doing it. 14, 16, 18. You will need a little room above your number line to make our plot. 22, 24, 26, 28, and 30. So it's easier to read those. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is mark our quartiles because they're the end of the box. So my quartile 1 was 17, so that's going to be right here. And the upper quartile, or quartile 3, was 24, so that's going to be right here. So those are the ends of the box. So we're going to draw the box there. You draw a line at the median, and our median was 22. So right here we're going to draw a line. Then we have the whiskers are going to be those extremes. So what are our extremes? Well, we have 15 as one extreme, so we're going to put a dot there and then draw a line. That represents the whisker. And our other was 30, so we're going to draw a dot there and draw a line. So now we see our data. okay, and how it's in here. So divide it into our fourths like this. So that's a box and whiskers plot. And hopefully